Hey to all you Matthew studying peeps out there. This week, Matthew 18, 1 through 4. Kind of a short lesson, but it's a kind of a, we got to talk about it. It's just a little one. It's who's the greatest? You ever look in the church and think who's the greatest? I don't know. Maybe you think the deacons are the greatest, the preacher's the greatest. I tell you what, the person sitting right there, that hands up a prayer to the Lord for supplication. I say every day, praying for that church and that pastor and those deacons and that church clerk and that church treasurer. That's a pretty important person. We can't all be guitarists or pianists or deacons, but we can all pray. So to me, that's kind of a great thing. But anyway, the disciples were having an ongoing argument that they'd had. It was nothing new, and they were going to have it again at the Last Supper. And they said, it's like it was their favorite topic. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? And you can tell they don't have a good understanding yet. Their understanding of greatness is the world's view on greatness. So Jesus responds and he says, who's the greatest? He responds with a child. And this goes right to my heart. I can just see our Heavenly Father putting us on his lap and saying, when you want to crawl up there and say, Abba, Father, I need comfort, I need healing, I need your help. And he lets us crawl up on his lap and he puts his arm around us. We nestle our head in his neck, crook of his neck and his shoulder. And a childlike, I think with a childlike attitude. And I can just see sometimes our Heavenly Father patting us with his hand, I love you, child. Isn't that good? Isn't that just what you want to think of Jesus doing? And that's what he does. And we can come to him and we can say, Abba, Father, this person's hurt my feelings. Or I'm in a mess and I made a mess and I don't know what to do about it. You can just go to him. Isn't that a blessing? Isn't that a good thought? Anyway, so I think a couple of points here is made. Especially in verse 3, the word converted. Turn yourself from your attitude and go a different direction. So he wanted to turn from their thinking. They were in a mindset. And I think he wanted them to have the mind of humility. And we can even ask ourselves, what can I do to be humble? What can I do to serve God and be humble? That's a challenging thought. I got a new book this week, and I thought y'all might want to try it at some point. It's called Pray and Go. It's a step-by-step thing, and it's only a couple of pages every chapter. And I don't know, there's a lot of chapters in there. I haven't started it yet. And at the end of the chapter is, and like I said, the chapter is just like, 2 pages long, 3 pages maybe. There's some questions. It's a challenge to make us a better, what's it say? A better commission Christian, a great commission Christian. I want to be a better Christian. And some of that it starts with humility and realizing, we just need to come to the Father like a child. And all of us can pray. So, there's my alert for citywide yard sale. Anyway, next in verse 4, the next key to this is the humbleness of a child. To be humble like a child who has no rights. In that day and age, the children had no rights in that society. And the child is a picture. No way to demand their way. And Jesus, if you think about it, set aside all of his rights as well when he died on the cross. He was the Son of God. Look at Philippians 2, 6 through 8. So, who's the greatest? And, it didn't stop here, that question. Did not stop here. It was an ongoing discussion. They even added the Last Supper. Look at Luke 22, 24 through 27. Jesus was the one who served, and he was the greatest among them. but he served in an act of humility. Jesus stands up and washes their dirty feet. In that day and age, people's feet got they got dirty. And Jesus asks if they understand what he's done to them. Look at John 13:12-15. He was their example. The point is that the lowest of the low did the foot washing in that culture, not the greatest. And a child had no rights, but Jesus gave up his rights to die for us. We need to be like Jesus. We need to be a lowly servant, be humble, and consider the needs of others more than the needs of our own. It's a quick little lesson, but I think it's a good one. And I just love the thought of climbing up on my Father's lap and saying, Abba, Father, I love you. And I know you love me. I know he loves me. Forgive me of my sins. I've done wrong. But I know you're my Heavenly Father. And I know I can come to you with anything. Isn't that good? Not that I'm good, or what I'm saying is good, but the relationship that we can have with our Heavenly Father is the best. It's good. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a week.